Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. All right, Gemini, tonight we have the Princess of Wands. Very fiery energy. One of passion, obviously. Passion, creativity, definitely this real desire to express themselves, right? I always think of like the princess and the prince card as being, well, like young adults, teenagers. And when a teenager or a young adult, usually, not always, right, gets a hold of something that they are interested in, they're passionate, they want to change the world, they want to do this, they want to do that, nothing can stand in the way, right? They find a way usually. Do they stick with it always? Maybe not. But nothing more passionate than like a college student, right? Into some new idea. So that's really, if you can imagine that disposition, that's kind of the energy we're starting with here. All right, we're gonna spin this thing and knock on it, and then we're gonna see what the tea leaves have to say. And I'm hoping the power doesn't go out. We're having some real stormy weather here. We're in the tornado zone, and so I'm really trying to keep an ear out for the sirens. I'm out in the country, and so we have to keep radios and that kind of thing around because we can't really hear the sirens in town too well. All right, let's see here. We have a person standing right here. You can see the head, you can see the body, maybe wearing a skirt or an apron or a robe of some kind. We have another person standing here, head, little hair. It looks like maybe a little dress. We have maybe this person holding a baby. Down here, it looks like we have a turtle or a tortoise. We have a dog right here. Over here, we have an eagle. And she's holding the flame, it looks like. So I have this real sense of family, of community. We have the house up here. You can see there is the crescent moon on it, which tells me this is very much a house that leans towards the lunar. So that could be that things sometimes get very emotional, dramatic. There might be somebody within the house that has, very noticeably shifting moods, kind of mercurial. If you could think of like the moon pulling the tides, sometimes the tide is way out there and then sometimes it's wreaking havoc up on the shore, right? So I feel like there seems to be a lack of masculine energy here. Maybe father is not involved or maybe not in the picture too often. Maybe father is there but not participating in the family to the level that everybody else kind of is. But there just seems to be this real sense of like a mother and kids all around and some animals. And with the tortoise, I feel almost like a sense of things going slowly, right? Like just trying to embrace the now. And if you've ever raised a kid or kids, you know that time speeds up. Not only are we getting older, but you're so busy with kids and they grow so fast. And next thing you know, they're, 20 years old. And so I feel like there's this real sense of like, can we just slow down? Can we just be here in this closeness, just for a few minutes? So they're really, I feel like you have a great belovedness for your family. Now this could be your mother, maybe this is you. But there really is this reminiscing, this kind of dwelling in this place. And maybe this is where you're at, you have the kids, the babies, and you're in the thick of it, and it doesn't, when you're not sleeping a lot and you're being pulled in every direction, it doesn't feel always, well, sometimes it doesn't feel beloved and like this is a miracle where, everything has aligned to bring us here. Sometimes it just feels like, can I get through this day and get a shower and eat something and then make it to bed, at a decent hour. Sometimes that's like the goal of the day, is just to get through. But I think, often in retrospect, we know how beloved these moments are when the kids are young or younger and everybody's together. Okay, so that seems like a really important thing for you. Now, we also have the number 70, 70, okay? Now, we're going to turn. It looks like we have a mouse or a rat right here. You can see the eye, and this would be an eye, and this is a nose, and here's the ear, okay? Kind of like a larger face right in here, okay? So I feel like at some point there is turbulence between the children, where one seems to be really good at like school and earning money and building up their life, and the other one seems more like, how should I say this? Like they're constantly consuming stuff, whatever it is, media, or maybe it's like, like comfort eating, which is my favorite pastime. It used to be anyways. Almost kind of, and I'm saying this because, let's see, it looks like the crawdad. Okay, and to me, it's always related to that lunar card again. And the crawdad is a symbol of the melancholy or the depressive nature of the moon, of the night side. And so these kind of morbid thinking and that kind of thing. So I feel like there's, definitely maybe not as much resolve to like get your life together. Maybe it's you, maybe this is your sibling, maybe this is your kids. I'm not sure, but definitely a duality between the two. And that's not to say that, one is better than the other, because even if you are not doing like, tip top, you're like the CEO of a Fortune 500 company or whatever, living life on your own terms, finding things that are meaningful to you. And that fully could happen with somebody who, I feel like I'm this person more than the one, that's like able to, from my youth, be on point, be on track, going to school and getting a good job. And that was not my life at all. So I understand this side definitely, but I also feel like this difference between the two of you, and I'm going to, or your kids, whoever this is. No, let's turn it, where is that? Right here. We have a child right here grabbing on to, and it looks like the claw of a crab. Okay, so we have a crab, we have a kid grabbing it, like they're gonna rip the claw off. So I feel like at some point it went from you're just two different types of people, you know, to we're in full like competition, we're like always going after one another. And I feel like this was kind of a lot of turmoil for you. And I feel like maybe you felt picked on by this person in your family. And I feel like it's something that is really, oh no, I'm not doing the Cancer reading. Oh no, do you have a Cancer? Do you have a Cancer sibling that you are picking on? No. It could be that you go into your shell. I just did the Cancer before you guys. So I was like, oh no, you're getting picked on. Well, no, I guess it's not. Somebody's picking on somebody though. Hopefully not even in your adulthood though. So yeah, maybe they're just somebody who's very kind of a crabby, you know, maybe, I don't know. Maybe you got pretty crabby because of the turmoil. But I do feel, I can't help but feel like you maybe felt singled out in this situation. And, you know, I also feel like with that big rat, I feel like your sibling was just a tattletale. And I think that's what it is. It comes down to you were in competition with each other. They were always messing with you, and then they're telling on you. And, you know, I feel like you just pulled away. You went into yourself when it had anything to do with them. And I feel like that's something that continues to kind of mar just that part of your family connection. You know, I don't know if it ever got better or not. But I do think that there's still the sting of it when you really think about it. But I also feel like you're super in that nostalgic place as well. You know, and it's funny how our minds kind of do that. Like, we know not everything was perfect, and sometimes it was way less than, you know, sometimes it was pretty bad. But we find things to kind of romanticize and cling to, right? The good times, the good moments when things weren't, you know, painful or chaotic or whatever. Yeah, and immediately I saw the word war, W-A-R. So, question mark. It feels like maybe you moved. We have the horse and we have the carriage or the wagon, which usually indicates to me there was a very intentional move. You know, you don't accidentally find yourself in a wagon, right? You got to do a lot of rigging to get the horse all together and the wagon together and everything in order and packed. And then the actual travel would have been a lot, right? So this isn't a very intentional move, okay? I feel like, though, as you got away from this dynamic, if you moved far away or if you, you know, stayed close, but you're not as, you know, involved with this person, the sibling, or maybe it's even, you know, your children. Maybe you've had to kind of back out of those parts of their lives, right? Trying to get them to see eye to eye or at least kind of embrace one another. So I see you getting away from this energy at some point, and I see we have, it almost looks like a woman holding some kind of you know, thing to the sky, and it seems very magical to me. I feel like you found your kind of natural magical practitioner-ness within. It kind of emerged the further away you got from all of that noise that was in your life. Now we also have the rabbit, and that tells me, yeah, definitely abundance, and, you know, quick mind, and this ability to make so much of what you have, right? And I think you've built a beautiful life for yourself. And I feel like, you know, ultimately, this might not like be that big of a deal anymore to you, but I think at one time it was. And I think it's important sometimes for us to kind of look over how we have changed, how life has changed, and, you know, just, I like to call it self-archaeology, or, you know, going over our histories. And maybe you're in a place where you're thinking about starting to write some of this stuff down. I love the idea of going and interviewing like older family members and getting their stories, and, you know, this kind of thing. And maybe you're getting into that place in life, you know. I think everybody, at least most people, I think, go through where they're like doing their genealogy, and, you know, really interested in the stories of the family, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I definitely lean into it, you know, make it a fun project. Now, I see you are communicating a lot. We have the phone. We have a person sending a message. Birds, all these birds, and a person holding two birds ready for them to go. So I feel like you really have something to say. We also have repeated the name Sai, S or C, Y was right here. And now we also have, it looks like C, and then on this side, the Y. Okay, so, or like this, the Y. So Sai, possibly, the name Sai. All right, I got to get going. I'm going to pick up my daughter here in a minute. We're going to do lucky numbers, then we're going to wrap it up. 3 lucky numbers. Number 3. Number 82. And number 22. All right. Oh, let's do it real quick. Our Indigo Sage affirmation cards. And I'm going to flip through. Stop where it feels right. Now we have a blue flower. And it says, exquisiteness, forever nectar. Allow immortal beauty to pour through every thought, word, and action. All right. Love it. Okay, Gemini, I love you. If you want to like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. I got to run. So again, I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you for being here. You're the best. And we'll talk in a few days. Good night.